All right. Well, we are very, very bad hosts. So,
I would say so. We got caught up in Lowe's.
well, yes and no. The kids had the idea, or somebody had the idea that to go skiing or snowboarding or something over in St. Louis area. So that came about today, and so we were taking them. But I wish I could not so side there. Is that a little bit better? Yeah. But anyways, got that thrown at us, and kind of then we had to run into town for Lowe's because we working on the house, which is going to come out with a video tomorrow or tonight yet on an update on the house and get supplies for the germ chamber. So,
Yeah.
and got into Lowe's, got busy, got talking, and
Yeah. I was thinking, and Lowe's is like Walmart. You go in and you don't just go in for what you planned for. We ended up getting a few other things that I don't know. It'll just allow us not to come in to get those few next steps for some projects. We were only going to get a few things to finish up some of the rooms and get the electrical done, and ended up getting a ceiling fan and a few other things that eventually we will get to, but not what we had planned on for tonight.
no, I had planned sitting behind the computer on live
and chatting with all of you folks. So yeah. But here we are.
So, stopped in here to a local restaurant here and grab a bite to eat and talk with you. So,
well, one thing that I was going to go over tonight, and I don't have them with me now, is the gear that we use. It's not really gear, but I guess it's gear that we use during as cold a weather as we got.
Mm-hmm.
Like the waterproof gloves that we have.
The heated waterproof gloves.
The heated waterproof gloves that we have.
That I don't use because I don't have a size that fits me. So.
No, but you know what? Now that you're usually not the one breaking ice, though.
No, I do. I just don't wear gloves.
Well, that's true. You're just weird. But
hello, Hypocrite's Garden.
Yes, hello. But I was going to tell everybody about the gloves that we had. And we used them it was 2 years ago that we had that other like -20 that last.
Yeah, I think so.
Like 2 years ago, I had bought them. They are an investment. They were like, I don't know.
$100.
Yeah, they were really expensive. But they are well worth it. They're heated gloves, so they've got a battery pack on them that you can recharge, and they last for I don't know, hours on end. And when we used them the first year that we had them, like your hands were sweating in -20-degree weather outside. It was absolutely crazy. So you don't turn them all the way up. But even this last storm that we had this past weekend, I mean, I had my hands, all the way up to here in pond water, just getting all the ice out for the cows. And by the time that I walked back to the vehicle, a good 30 feet, my hands were just completely covered in ice, or the gloves were, and my hands were nice, dry, and warm. And so I was just going to share that with you guys. I need to look up and see and put a post out there of what gear that was, what gloves those were, so that in case anybody else is looking for some good product, you'd be able to catch on to that. But as far as anything else that we have, it's just coveralls and just coats. Your normal stuff that everybody else probably has around the farm. We use dry shod boots too, and you have your Muck brand that's out there, and then what's the other? Is Muck the only one that's kind of a pretty common?
Dry shod is getting popular now too. So
yeah, a couple years back we had found dry shod boots, which are the same. They look the same as like your regular Muck boot, where the bottom of them is all rubber up till about your ankle, and then from your ankle up to about mid calf is neoprene, and so these are well insulated. These are the Arctic Storm kind, you know, so they go down to like super extreme weather.
-20 or something, I think is what the rating for.
Yeah, they're rated pretty heavy, and we've had those for, this is our third season going in with them,
which is saying something.
And yeah, that is really saying something, especially for us. We go through boots like crazy, and they're basically our only waterproof boot that we have. So even though they're Arctic, we have been using them through the summer too. I mean, your feet sweat, you know, but they have held up like a full 2 years, and we're still going on them. They've been a good product too.
Yeah.
Trying to think of what else it is that we use that would be good to share with somebody.
I don't know. I'm hoping, well, it is just on the end of December going in January, but.
Which is kind of scary.
Well,
our first storm was negative 30 degrees.
Yeah, but now we're really going to start concentrating back on going back to the gardening stuff, because that goes in full swing here in 10 days, so 15 days.
Yeah.
Tomatoes get started, so, and Hippocrates says like a weather wetsuit for your hands.
Yes, it is.
Very much are.
It is.
But
yeah.
I know he does some gardening down there in Arkansas. I'm wondering, he's probably getting pretty close to be able to. Well, if they do anything inside, that area will probably be getting tomatoes in the ground here in the next couple of days. Not in the ground, but started.
It started in the greenhouse. Yeah.
So
the one thing that Andrew just mentioned a bit ago is we started in on building the germ chamber today. And that is one addition that we should have had last year and probably should have had the year before, but we just kind of made do. But the germ chamber is one that that we start our seeds in, or we're going to be starting our seeds in, and it helps keep the soil and the trays at a consistent temperature and moisture for them to be able to germinate in a quick manner, so you're not rotting out your seeds and giving them
quick germination.
Quick germination.
Even germination.
That too.
That's the big thing with a lot of those, just the evenness of being able to do that. I mean, it's got a humidistat, and it's got a cooling control, heating control, so we'll be able to heat and cool it. And right now it's still in the wash area, but as soon as I'm doing the greenhouse, which I haven't been able to get back on that yet, that'll go out into the greenhouse. So the cooling will be for that part mainly, because obviously in August, July, when we're still doing lettuce, it needs to be 60 degrees for the lettuce. So we can crank it down to the 60 degrees pretty easily on that. So just using a commercial double door refrigerator that the doors were bad on, and then one got busted. And so I'm actually using polycarbonate, building some new doors and doing some shelves out of EMT. So we'll do a video on that, kind of how we built that out, and be able to do that. So
yeah, that's going to be, I don't want to say a game changer, because last year we had a pretty good halfway system going on. We had taken, we had gotten a new walk-in cooler and freezer that we had gotten put up, and the old walk-in freezer was actually in the shop. And so we moved everything out of that cooler into the new freezers and used the old walk-in freezer. It might be getting confusing here, but the old walk-in freezer, we used it for our germ chamber. So it was like a walk-in germ chamber. It actually turned out halfway decent.
halfway.
It worked for what it was.
But this will allow you in the summertime, which that one wouldn't work for the summertime.
Oh gosh, no. It got really hot, real easy.
But
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah, I knew he helped take care of his parents, so that's a big thing with him. And so first week of April, and our last average frost up here is Mother's Day is our kind of a rule, is we try not to do anything that is very frost tolerant past Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Before Mother's Day.
Before Mother's Day, at least outside.
Yeah. Now it snowed, or it froze like a day or two after Mother's Day up here last year, I think.
It did.
So we didn't do anything until the 15th of May last year. So,
Yeah.
which Mother's Day is like the 10th.
It changed. Right? Yeah, it's somewhere
10,
around there.
Like that, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish it was April, but I mean, we're so full swing in April. I mean, we're January 15th is tomatoes go in the ground and turnips and all that go in the greenhouses and stuff like that. As soon as we get the second one cleaned out. So
yeah, tomatoes don't go in the ground, but they go in the greenhouse.
Yeah, in the greenhouse.
Yeah.
So that's fine. Just leave it right there.
Thank you. And yeah, so I don't know. Christmas wise, we did a little traveling and went down to St. Louis. Went and seen family down there.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've been traveling to St. Louis. And
I think everybody had a good Christmas. So.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see, what else has been happening for the past week?
I got caught. Got pulled over. Got lucky.
He got super lucky.
Didn't get a ticket. So.
Super lucky.
But
yeah,
it was nice. He was a very nice young gentleman. So I'll just say that. But he was ready to go home and be with his family as well. So
he was, and it was cold. Oh my goodness, that just sucks to be out on the road cold like that.
Yeah.
But
got another Christmas coming up here. What, in another week or two? 2 weeks?
Yep, we'll be doing your side of the family in a couple weeks.
Yeah. We don't generally do that till January, till all that since. So.
Yeah, both of our families are very flexible as far as when we celebrate holidays and birthdays and all that kind of stuff. It's more of let's just get together and be together instead of making sure that you're on the day kind of thing. I know there's a lot of families that are pretty strict on it has to be this day, and we're fortunate that our families are like we can all make it on this day. It might be 2 weeks later, but
yeah. Well, we used to be that way too. I mean, we used to have a very rigid tradition that we had. So
I guess, yeah.
We did.
We did. It used to be that way.
Hello, Indiana Mike, and Merry Christmas to you. So it's Hippocrates Garden had said we bought land about a year and a half ago. Happened to be a lot further along, even possibly living there by now. Yeah. I completely understand where you're coming from on that. We had that with my grandparents, so
yes,
for a while, so completely understand.
Yeah, actually, when we first got the farm, and we totally understand where she was coming from. So the farm that we're on is Andrew's family. It's a century farm. It's been in the family for over 100 years, and whenever we bought our piece of property,
which was originally part of the farm.
Yeah.
We bought part of the farm from one of the brothers.
Yeah. So. The house actually wasn't part of it. It was, it belonged to his grandparents, and we were able to eventually, purchase that from them. But they wanted to hold on to it, for themselves, which they had plans that they were wanting to do too. But that put us just a little bit behind on, moving forward. Ooh, what are you doing? Where are you going?
My fingers are falling asleep.
But, we didn't get to go full force whenever we first got up there. We started in on stuff, but.
Well, we were young and poor too.
That too.
Not much has changed. We're just older now, right?
Yes. Yeah. I don't know if we've learned anything, have we?
Oh, we've learned lots.
I hope so.
Then I got lots more gray in my beards. So.
Yeah.
Orthodox Christian Christmas is January 7th. I'll have to look that up. I'm not familiar with that terminology, really.
Nice. So, well, we're going to be celebrating January 8th.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah. So that works. Yeah.
But
I don't know.
What else you got? I don't know. We're childless, so we're not sure what to do with ourselves. But
yeah, at least for a couple days.
Yeah.
We don't have crazies going behind us, and they just left us with the puppies.
Yeah.
That's enough kids.
Well, we're going to get 2 more kids tomorrow, sounds like. We secured 2 young, well, almost 2-year-old bulls. So we're going to get those 2 delivered tomorrow. So she didn't really know what I was talking about.
Figure out what he was talking about.
We got 2 South Pole bulls coming tomorrow for our girls, and we'll throw them on our pasture for 60 days. So that'll be good. And he asked how we did through the cold. So, I mean, we're still kicking. But
yeah, we did fine. You know, there was the coldest night. I forget what night it was.
Tuesday or something like that. But yeah,
Thursday. Might have been Thursday when it got down really, really cold. Man, I was worried about those girls, about the cows, and I shouldn't have been, but I was. And I did put out an extra bale of hay for them, so they had something to lay up on, and just hope that they, found a windbreak somewhere.
Well, we strategically put them in where they could have a windbreak. They had a deep ditch line. I think we talked kind of about that last time, but
they did.
They had that, and just feed them extra. And as long as they had hay available, then the thing with the cow is, as long as they're in fairly decent condition, the rumen, as long as the rumens are full, then that'll create a lot of heat, and that kind of does all that. But we did fine with the heat. We got the house insulated in time, just in time.
Yeah.
Thankfully, so that worked out really well.
Yeah. So we were actually, the spray foam came in on Tuesday. He was able to get the bedrooms and all that done. And then we were able to move in on Wednesday, and that storm came in on Thursday. So we were out of the trailers when all that stuff came in, which I can't even imagine being in it would have been really cold being in the trailers.
It would have been. We've done it before.
We have.
45-mile-an-hour winds were what would have kicked that. So, I mean, the trailers are getting shut up. We've got to finish shutting those things up. But
yeah.
Put those away for
maybe,
a while.
yeah. One we're thinking about leaving on for maybe some farm help if we can ever.
Or guests.
Yeah, or guests, yeah. Get that far along, the master plan. But lots of phases. But yeah, we need to finish getting those cleaned out. It's supposed to be actually, 65, 70 here in a couple days?
50, I think they moved it to 58 now on Thursday, I think, Wednesday or Thursday.
That'll be good.
But 40s, high 40s several days. So that's going to be.
That'd be a good relief.
Guns a-blazing for the greenhouse, because I want to get that thing up and going, because we just don't have the room. So, and we had planned on having lettuce already germinated and up in the greenhouse.
Yeah.
Which needed to happen 10 days ago or so, 7 days ago, and we're already behind on that. So that's one of her goals for tomorrow. I'm going to get this germ chamber done tonight, one way or the other. I'll get it done. And she's going to have lettuce in that germ chamber tomorrow. And so, definitely get that done. And then as soon as those are germinated, I haven't looked in the high tunnel. The high tunnel we've covered with grow cover, and we've got to check on that lettuce, see how it fared. I imagine it's going to be okay. And in fact, it's going to probably need to be uncovered because it's going to get too hot. But the greenhouse, we'll go ahead and get that heated as soon as the lettuce that we get in the germ chamber germinates. We'll get the greenhouse and turn the heat on it. We still have spinach and stuff in there, so I'm hoping it survived. But if it didn't, we'll crank up some lettuce or spinach. And I'm going to do quite a bit of direct seeding probably in a week or two. So.
Yeah, because it should germinate. Spinach is really cold germination, like 50 degrees, 60 degrees.
Spinach?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like 60.
I think spinach can probably germinate in the 40s. I know there's quite a few things that can in those cold tolerant stuff. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hypocrite says he's got a tunnel with a wreck, but no place to put it yet. So.
You will love it once you get that thing up. Absolutely love.
But it's, I can't hardly imagine gardening without one now. In fact, I mean, that's what our goal is. I hate the look of the plastic. Absolutely hate looking out there and doing it, but the advantages of it is so much that we are going to continue purchasing cat tunnels, and covering more and more and more. So,
Yeah, I mean, the high tunnels, I don't know if the tunnel that you're talking about is a caterpillar tunnel or an actual like high tunnel. The caterpillar tunnels are more of a temporary permanent structure.
16-foot wide.
Yeah, well, and I guess a high tunnel, you could do the same thing, couldn't you?
Not that narrow, I don't think. I mean, like the greenhouse that we're putting up is
It's a
20
foot.
and that's one of
That's
the
true.
narrower ones they do.
That's true. In a high tunnel is more definitely a permanent structure, even though they're basically made out of the same material, plastic top but the caterpillar tunnel, it doesn't have the plastic envelope up top.
It can. I could double envelope that if I wanted to.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can treat it just like a high tunnel. It's just, you can treat it like both, but you can treat it just like a high tunnel too. So.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cat tunnel. Yep. Farmers. That's exactly the one that we got with.
Yep. He does
Pro with extension.
50. And that's what we've got the Pro with the extension. We've got the Gothic. The newer ones though are 16. His is the older model. That is a 14-foot wide. So the newer ones are now 16-foot.
Had it up in my backyard in town. 14 by 50, had tomatoes. Yeah. Yep. Lower and leaning. Yeah.
And that's what we've done in years past. Now we're going to do some studying on that this year. In fact, I think we're going to do three studies with tomatoes. Is we're going to do some determinants, and we're going to do some grafted determinants, non-grafted determinants, and we're going to do some of our. Of course, we still want to do a lot of our heirlooms, which are mostly not indeterminate, so they're lower in lean, and that's how we do those as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the determinants keep up with the indeterminates.
Well, they won't.
On tonnage and
overall yield-wise, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
So, but our season for our tomatoes are so short because, again, we're starting way early, but we pull them out in August. So, I mean, it's so hard to say, well, lower and lean, we could probably go all the way through October with our lower and lean.
Oh, yeah.
But since we don't, is it worth it for us to lower and lean? So.
Yeah. Yeah, because we like to get things going. The plan is always to get something going in there so that we have stuff to go through the winter. And to be able to do that, you need to have all that stuff planted in September in the tunnels so that it is almost at full
well, you want
crop.
Full crop mature by, I think our 10-hour day is November 15th, I think. So
yeah,
after November 15th, things just don't grow. Even if they have the warmed, they slow to a crawl just because of the daylight right here. So, but yeah, that's depending on what it is. I mean, spinach we can get in October, and as long as it's fairly mature by the end of October, we can crank out spinach all year or all winter long in the same bed, cut and come again kind of deal. So
yeah,
spinach or lettuce just has to be mature on that November 15th. So we want to have that all available. So
yeah. And I assume on your cat tunnels that you have the side walls or the end walls. The end walls are open. We keep our end walls open. Or we did
right now.
Yeah.
Kind of bad, yeah.
Yeah. But for winter, then that's when you would plastic them up.
Yeah, that's when we cover them.
So
you have way too many plants and they spent way too much time just pruning and such. It's too crowded to have the west end about 3 foot from my house. Left that end open all year to mitigate heat. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So
on our beds, we've got 30-inch beds, and they're 30-inch except for the high tunnels. The high tunnels with the tomatoes in them, we have 40-inch beds, and we're planting a staggered every foot.
So
there's 2 rows.
It's every 2 foot staggered. So yeah, the plant is it's this plant in row. This plant and this plant is 2 foot apart, but then it's staggered a foot over the next one's. So it's still it's 2 foot staggered. Yeah.
So basically, on a 100-foot row, you have 100 plants.
Yes.
You just have 2 rows that are offset.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just have to put staggered so that you double that.
Yeah. And they do get pretty stacked up in there. I mean, whenever you're lower and leaning, you really have to strategically.
Oh yeah, I mean that's if you have leaves below the tomatoes, then
You're done.
Yeah, you better play catch up real quick.
Yeah.
So
now there's a system. What's the? Is it the clipper system?
Yeah.
There's a clipper system that's out there. Connor Crickmore with NeverSync. We seen this on his 2 years ago.
I know, and we've seen. I think Ray Tyler uses
Ray Tyler now.
But it's. I'd love to. No, again, it's an investment.
Yeah.
A very large investment, depending on how many. But if you had started it, I mean, we still use the plastic clips. We need to go to the compostable clips now, and we need to go to natural string, which will just make things a lot easier. So you don't have to worry when you rip everything out, you just throw it in the compost. It all compost.
Yeah.
Right now we spend the time and we got to pull all that stuff off and all that. So.
Yeah, which makes it. That's really hard. That makes for a.
Yeah, NeverSync farm.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I would really like to talk to Connor Crickmore at NeverSync and visit. He uses a lot of labor. And he does a wonderful job in production of videos and things like that. We've been really following Ray Tyler. Ray Tyler's out of Tennessee.
We started with Connor though.
We did start with Connor. We've got his farming course, which was a very big investment, but it's
got a lot of information in it.
And we still use it.
Yeah.
I'd say almost daily.
Yeah.
Almost daily. But it's I don't know. It's a lot of production.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
not everything that he does.
He's not as personable, I guess.
Well, but not everything that he does fits our farm either.
Well, that's true. That's true.
And so we've taken what fits our farm and used it, and now we're taking what Ray does and fits our farm and uses it too.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
So.
We can relate with where they've all started because they've all started in the same area, crawling through the weeds to find the plants, to find the tomatoes and all that stuff. Connor just uses a ton of labor because he doesn't use any
machinery.
Stuff.
Yeah, he's all manual machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no machinery.
Yes. Yeah. No,
and
like
no plastic. And no plastic and nothing like that.
Oh, true. He doesn't have any fabric.
Yeah, no fabric.
And no tarping.
Yeah. No, he does tarp, but only for beds that will go into production that are new beds, like the whole garden.
Oh, okay.
If he's going to build a new tunnel, they'll tarp it for a year.
Okay.
But that's all he does, tarp.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay. Yeah, Ray is, well, he's in the same party zone as we. No, he's one down, isn't he?
Two. I think he's two. Connor's actually in the same climate zone as we are.
Yeah, which is crazy because he's in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Ray is known for his lettuce, and that is where we started with him, is because he can grow lettuce 52 weeks out of the year. Yeah. And doesn't have a problem.
Yeah. He's now got a whole farm course as well that it's actually can be done a monthly, yearly, and a lifetime thing. But he's definitely raised more than lettuce by a lot.
Yeah, he's known for his lettuce.
He was. That's where he kind of got his notoriety for it. Yeah. Yeah. But he's definitely a heck of a grower now.
Oh yeah.
But he does a lot of everything now. I think almost, except for melons and something else. But he's also landlocked. He's got smaller property. Yeah. He's looking for another farm too. So. Yes. But good evening, Grumpy Acres.
Nope.
So, Ray would be 7-ish. Yeah. 7-ish, so. and we're. I can't remember. They've changed it so many times. We're 5B now.
I think so.
So he's actually 2 zones below us. I think that's right. I think he's a 7B.
That would make sense. Yeah, getting carrots to germinate well and consistently.
Yeah.
They were talking about that the other night in one of his lives that using raw seed and pelleted seed, definitely on carrots you don't want to use pelleted seed.
Yeah, well, that's it because it has direct seeding in. But the thing they're finding out now with their carrots is they're steaming beds. So they're literally steaming them for, I forget how many, it's like 15 minutes a day, I think.
Something like that.
But it's killing the weed seed. It's killing it's essentially killing everything within the top inch. And they are getting an amazing amount of germination and weed-free beds for the carrots out of that bed steaming. So that's going to be kind of interesting to follow as well on that.
That's got to be a huge machine, I would think, for steaming.
Says it's like a small locomotive. I've never seen it, so.
That would be cool.
I forgot how many, it uses diesel, and it sounds like it goes through quite a bit of diesel per bed on it, so.
That is crazy. But we're going to be taking a trip at the end of April.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
I think it's about the end of April. Anyways, we're going to be passing through Ray's area, and we're hoping to be able to stop for a day and just say, hey, we'll work for you.
Yeah.
And just kind of, or just watch. I don't know. We'll sit on the hill. Maybe we'll just sit on the hill and watch them do their thing. You can even learn a lot from observing them. But yeah, swing through his place and just see it. That would just be cool. But
yeah, that's kind of the same way, hypocrites. I mean, it's the permaculture stuff and trying to get all that, and really gearing my mind more. I've always been permaculture, never been defined by that, and put myself in that box. But definitely trying to learn more of traditional, what I call traditional permaculture, and the habits within that. So.
Yeah, you've always been soil based.
Yeah, I mean, soil health has always been the base I've always gone back into. So,
yes.
But
yeah,
got 900
acres.
Yeah, but try to land to fix. That we completely understand.
Exactly. So what's on there now? Is it just?
Well, it says ag land, so probably.
Oh, row crop maybe.
Rice, maybe rice. They do a lot of rice, but that's even not in northern Arkansas. I think it's in northeast Arkansas. So.
Okay. Yeah, no, we know that. I mean, there's a lot of, although I think this is going to be a positive statement. Maybe I'm way too positive on this, but with the fertilizer prices that have started to skyrocket, it seems like some of these more traditional guys not traditional, more commercial ag are going more towards incorporating more cover crops and other things to help supplement, which even though that's not their intention to fix the soil,
well,
it's
I think
an unintended consequence for the rising prices of things.
You're not wrong, but it is for fixing the soil. But the mind is opening a little bit to the fact that yes, the soil does matter. You can't just keep throwing stuff at it, and like you said, the expense of throwing stuff at the soil to try to keep feeding it.
Right.
And you keep feeding a dead thing, or you just have to feed it and keep doing what, as opposed to having living soil and cover cropping and bringing that soil back to life. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's precision level.
Rice land. Yeah.
What does rice take a lot of? Nitrogen?
Water. I've never been into much of a rice.
It's spraying all the sprays. It's still okay. Yeah. So does rice though? Does it take a lot of nitrogen? Like, do they do the?
I don't think rice is.
What is it that they put into the ground for corn?
Nitrogen. Anhydrous.
Anhydrous. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I've never been a rice guy, so.
And rice is one of those crops that is a high pesticide, high.
Well, oats are for sure. I'm not sure if rice is very much. It's a grass, yeah.
Yeah.
They fertilize the heck out of it, yeah. And that's not going to figure with rice. It's grass too, so. but it's the number one consumed grain there is in the world. So,
well, true.
I mean, California is first, and I believe Arkansas is number 2 in the nation for rice production. So
That's true. Most of them say cover crop in any of that. I think here, that's true.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've been the crazy people for quite a few years. So Andrew every year will call the cover crop guy, our seed guy, and well, the first year that we did cover crops, gosh, I think it was like a 30-way mix that you had put in there, and it was for like a couple years that you did like a 20 to 30-way mix, and we decided to go with a local seed seller, and actually got to know him pretty well. He's a very good grass beef farmer. And but anyways, Andrew will call him and say, "Hey, I need a mix for, this coming year." He's like, "I don't care what you put in it,
Well, that's not how it started. I mean, I started building all my own soil mixes, and I had specific reasons for each one. But now it's more of, okay, this is my intent. What do you have? This is what I want to do with it, and give me a diversity of whatever it is. And he knows what I'm kind of aiming at. So,
But the first time though that you handed him that, and he's like, "You want to put pumpkins out there and sunflowers and what's this other thing that you have in here?" And then the next year you're like, "Oh, just send me something diverse." And he's like, "Here you go. I think, really, what is it that I'm really confused." And Andrew's like, "Just whatever you have, just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just give me something crazy, whatever." And he still is, every now and then he still calls and is like, "Now, are you sure? Are you sure you want that?" It's been pretty funny.
Yeah, Gabe Brown that's where with cover crops, I kind of, Gabe and, now I'm going to forget the other guy over in Ohio, his name. But yeah, Gabe Brown's been one of the guys I followed for many, many years now. There's another guy over in Ohio that doesn't do the cattle, but does the farming, and he's done no-till farming and cover crops. Actually, he has his own cover crop seed company. So Ray Archuleta is definitely, and Ray Archuleta is from Missouri originally. Obviously, bucked the system with NRCS, but you talk about a soil guy. That Ray's definitely. And I can't remember the other guy's name, but he ran with Ray and Gabe and those guys. So, but yeah.
Since I've said his name, I'm trying to remember who that is.
Yeah,
he's got a couple books out there too, doesn't he?
No, Gabe does. But gosh, no, I'm gonna forget what his name is. I can't remember what seed company name is either. So
it's not the one that you had been getting seeds from, is it?
No, I've never bought seed from him. But
Dang.
Okay.
Well, I don't know.
What else you got? Anything else? I'm trying to think.
I don't know. Yeah. Some of the old books that were sitting around the farm, your great grandfather had them.
Oh yeah,
and there are some pretty neat old farmer books out there that.
Well, again, there's nothing new underneath the sun. I mean, we're just repeating old ways. We're rediscovering the old ways of doing stuff. I mean, so cover crops have been done for years. I mean, the one thing that we've taken away from a lot of things is fire that did a lot of stuff. So
yeah.
Good and bad. I mean, there's things that they've done that we've learned that are good and bad. So you have to go off of that and study that and figure that kind of stuff. But
true.
So, well, we were horrible hosts, and we kind of talked in the beginning, late for all this, and kind of slipped our mind and everything. But we are going to plan on doing this still every Monday.
I'll put it in the calendar this time.
So, definitely want to get that onto freestanding and get that. It wasn't on this week and that was our fault. We didn't get that over there to them to notify them that we were going to. And probably a good thing because we messed this one up. So, but
you can't do everything perfect the first time.
Well, the second time.
Or the second time.
Hopefully the third time.
Third time's a charm.
So, but we are going to jump off here. We've been normally doing an hour, and we'd love to do more, but there again, we've kind of caught ourselves
hijacked the restaurant
with the proverbial pants down, and like, oh, we got to stop and get on here because we're gonna mess this up. So we're gonna jump off here. Somebody else just joined, so I hate to jump off, but
we'll catch you.
We'll definitely catch you next Monday. Again, we're gonna get the video out on this germ chamber. Working on the greenhouse, and that I'll do videos as we do that. I know you have one canning video that I need to still get out for that. I think it was canning. Oh no,
yeah.
it was your broth.
Yeah, got that, and then also we have a hay unroller that we use.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah. I've got some information on that.
From the one and only Greg Judy.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Hello.
We both made it. Yes. Well, we both made it too because we were very, very late tagging these. So.
Yes.
Very late. So, but yeah, get those videos out, and
so in the meantime, keep your fires burning.
Absolutely. It's going to warm up. Going to enjoy this weather we're going to get. Have you seen the mass sowing, especially for tomatoes? Yes. Man, there is. I can't remember. There's a terminology for that. Chaos gardening and things like that. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. It's kind of like that. And we've talked about doing some of that. Of course, any seed that we have that's over a year, Joe Lamb.
Joe Lamb?
Nah, not I. It's an L. So Joe. We'll have to look that up. Remind me of that. But any seed that's 2 years or older, we just don't mess with it. We'll actually throw it in the seed mix with the cover crops and stuff. So.
Yeah, but that is what we found though. After a year, definitely 2 years.
Depending on seed.
Depending on the seed.
Because again, we're not really, really good, and all your seeds should stay in the freezer. When you're not using seed, dark, cold, in the freezer. So that's one thing. We do have an extra freezer. Once the greenhouse goes up, I'll put an extra freezer out in the greenhouse. I'm going to do some jockeying with it to insulate it some better, so we're not using so much energy on it. But if you're not using seed, it definitely should go in the freezer, and it would stay a lot longer. So.
Oh, okay. Putting like 50 seeds in one cell. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess so for germination purposes. I mean, if you have some that are a couple years old. Yeah,
I mean, and so he's doing that in the cell. It says prick them out at about 1 to 2 weeks. Prick them out at about 1 to 2 weeks. He and another guy do a lot of seed sales, and yeah. So what they a lot of times do, and I have them guys do this, is to just do a flat, and they just spread the seed like we would do microgreens.
Oh, yeah, and then you transplant them.
And you just transplant them out. So absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. That seems to be like it would take too much time.
Well,
but I know a lot of people do that.
Well, the other thing you could do, I mean, that's how you would do some seed saving. If you want to do seed saving for next year, you can always go like a tomato just in soil.
Yes.
And
yeah, so it
keep it cold.
Yeah.
Well, and it'll just grow from seed, just like our gardens, our high timers do. So
true.
The weed seed.
That's true.
So
that's a tomato weed seed.
Yeah, tomato weed seed. But so, well, we're gonna jump off of here, guys. Like I said, we will get this on schedule next time on time at 7 o'clock. So until then, we're gonna get those videos out. But until then, pull up a chair and welcome to Tabletop Farms.
Bye, guys. Have a good night.